Hi, I'm Bob Cox, and welcome to Cox Notes. If you find these segments interesting, entertaining, or informative, I encourage you to go to YouTube and subscribe to the Cox Notes channel. Maybe something there for you. Now, for today, I was recently asked by a friend what I would choose if I were looking for a lever action .22 rifle. He told me he'd been looking at the Marlin and he'd been looking at the Henry. And he said, "What would you choose?" My answer was simple. I'd choose both. But I understand that's not realistic. I'm somewhat of a self-proclaimed history nut, and many of the firearms that I've chosen over my lifetime have some tie to history, or they have a historical story to tell. And for that reason, I've purchased several firearms that I've never needed, but just wanted a lot for their historical value. Marlin has been around for 150 years. And when it was founded, I think it was in 1870 that John Martin founded the company. For many years, they played second fiddle to the Winchester. And that didn't change until recent history, actually. In the 1980s and 1990s, Marlin suddenly started outselling the Winchesters, in particular in the .22 rifle category. Everybody I talk to says that the Marlin 39, which is what this is, outsells the 94 .22 substantially. So this gun here started out as the model 1891 and was first produced in that year. And it was the first lever action that was specifically designed for the .22 rimfire cartridge. Now, anybody that has one of these will testify that they're a very accurate gun. This particular 39A is known as the 39A Golden. It was manufactured much later than the starting manufacture, 1930 or so. And it's been around a long time, even at that, and is still a fine shooting gun, properly taken care of. It won't give up for a long time. The 39A has a fairly smooth action. It could use a little polish, but all in all, a very fine gun. Nice walnut stock, capable of some nice accuracy. Now for the Henry Golden Boy. This is the Henry Golden Boy. This rifle has the Old West look to it. And octagon barrel, lever action, and this shiny polished brass receiver that just grabs your eye when it's up there on the shelf. When I first looked at this gun up on the shelf in my favorite sporting goods store, I asked to see it, and when they handed it to me, of course, I cycled the action. The first thing I noticed about this gun was the smoothness of the action. This thing just is amazingly smooth for a over-the-counter as-is rifle. The second time I cycled the action, I could have sworn that a little voice came out of this side ejection port, which both these rifles have, by the way. And that little voice said, "Take me home, please." And I did. The Henry also has some beautiful history behind it. The Henry Arms Company is a well-known company, and one of the important things that I look at now is that these guns are made in the USA, and they have quality to them. The last thing that, and the most important thing for a lot of people is price. The Henry Golden Boy has a manufacturer's suggested retail price of $580. You should be able to get one for less than that. For example, this is a copy of the advertisement from Cabela's on this rifle. It shows a pretty wide range. But you can get down into that lower range if you just look around. Now, the Marlin, on the other hand, is somewhat of an enigma, if you will. I have not been able to find a new one of these for quite some time. And I see over the past 3 years where these guns are selling well in excess of $600. Here again is a picture of one that's on a shelf in the sporting goods area of a large store. So you can see that these things are pretty pricey. Now, I don't recommend really, and this is a personal thing, but I don't recommend either of these rifles as the first rifle for a youngster. I prefer a single shot .22 rifle as that starting out rifle. And I guess the last thing and the last question on this is, how do they shoot? And I will guarantee you that both of these rifles shoot better than most people that handle them are capable of shooting. So let's go out to our favorite range or our favorite shooting area and shoot them. Polish off a few rounds of .22 ammunition. That's what this is all about, having fun shooting. And there's no doubt these are wonderful small game rifles, both of them. Okay, so here I am at the range, my favorite range. This is the Chief Uray Gun Club near Ridgeway, Colorado. Set up a couple of targets out here at about 50 feet, just to take advantage of the whole situation, show you how accurate these rifles can be. I brought both the Marlin and the Henry, and we'll take a look at and see just what they can do. To give the rifle every advantage, I brought a rest, so we'll shoot from a rest, and that way kind of take the human factor out of it. So let's get started. First, we're going to shoot the Marlin at the lower target. you'll notice it's shooting a little bit high at this range, and that's what I want it to be doing, because that rifle's sighted in for a little bit longer range. So I'm hitting high on the bull at 50 feet, probably on the bull out there at close to 25 yards. So that's what I wanted to do. Next, let's try the Henry on the upper target. Here again, I'm shooting a little high, but a great group, and that makes everything adjustable. So when I have a little bit drier conditions and set up some longer range, I'll put that Henry out where it belongs. But all in all, both of these rifles perform well. So I'm Bob Cox. This is Cox Notes. Please subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more to come. Incidentally, if you're interested in that target stand that I had set up there, one of my future episodes will show you how to build one of those. So thank you. So, to answer your question, which one do I choose? I'd still opt for both if I could. But choose either one of them, and you're going to have a rifle that is capable of lasting for generations to come. And the most important thing, as far as I'm concerned, is take a youngster with you, have some fun, do some plinking, and maybe some rabbit hunting, and make these things earn their keep. That's what it's all about. I'm Bob Cox. This is Cox Notes. And I invite your subscription to the channel. Thank you very much.